You don't need a large team. You need an empowered team that you lead and manage well. In this training, you're going to discover how my team of 3 produces at a very high level, and every team member drives revenue into the business. They are a profit source, not a money suck. You're also going to discover 3 things that every team member must have when they come in to work with you in your organization, and what you have to have for them from day one. So buckle up, let's go. In a later video, I'll get into more specifics as to how you can know upfront before hiring that every team member will be a profitable hire. And I'm going to share the biggest mistakes to avoid around team and the key principles to delegation that actually opens up hours in your day. That's coming soon. For now, let's dive in. I have 3 team members and each works part-time. Each also, this is very important, is a specialist in the skill set for each role. And that is so important because I see too many women who hire one person full-time. They're thinking it makes sense. Less people to manage. Seems simpler, more straightforward. But that is a big mistake. Here's what you need to know. You've got to hire by skill set, right? Those with the experience and the expertise to perform their duties and responsibilities with excellence at the highest level. That means you cannot hire generalists or jack of all trades because they know a little about a lot of things, but they master none. Okay, that is key. So think about your team right now. Is everybody on your team a specialist? Do they have a focused and specific area of expertise? Or do they have their hand in many different things? Here's the deal. Focus increases productivity. And so when you hire experts, right, they will be more efficient in performing their tasks. That means they're going to get it done quicker and simpler, and they're absolutely going to produce better results. That means better results for you and the company, whether it be saving you time and or deriving revenue into the business. Specialists may cost more, but trust me, it's worth it. They more than make up for it in the outcome of their work. Now, if you'd like more specifics as to how to know who to hire, what roles to hire for, and details on the hiring process itself, you can grab my ultimate hiring guide at judyweber.co/hiring guide. And inside, you're going to learn everything you need to know as to how to confidently and strategically hire. Again, that's judyweber.co/hiring guide. Okay, let's talk about the 3 things every team member must have coming in to your business. Number 1, they've got to have competence. What do I mean by that? They've got to be experts. Okay. You do not want to hire someone who says, I've never done that before, but I'm a quick learner. Okay. There may be certain tasks that people have to do coming in that they may not be, have had years of experience before. But trust me, when you're hiring for expertise and you're hiring in that way by skill set as opposed to just by a name of a role, the competence becomes very important. And as I said before, expertise is worth the extra dollars that you may spend up front. Trust me. And by the way, if you've ever hired somebody because you thought it was a good deal, I will bet you dollars to donuts that it ended up not working well. Okay. So don't cheap out on your team. It's too important. Second thing that your team members need coming in is they need commitment. So what does that mean? They need to be committed to your mission. They need to be all in on furthering that mission. They are not to be just check the boxers. Okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. All done. No. Their work, they have to be competent, but they also need commitment to why they're doing the work, to why you're in business, right? They really need to be bought in to your mission, your vision, and your why as to, why you're doing the work that you're doing. We know that God called you to it, but the reason that he did is because he put inside you a passion to serve. for a specific reason, for a certain specific group of people. And so your team members, each and every one of them, need to be committed to all of that. Okay. So they need competence, commitment, and third and finally, they need creativity. Creativity. Okay. They need to have a mindset of thinking outside the box. They need to critically think things through, right? So, what I mean by that is because you can't be an expert at everything, and you definitely should delegate things you're not good at and don't know things about, they need to come in with that level of expertise, but they have to be willing to offer suggestions. They have to think through if you are saying, this is your role, these are your duties, this is your responsibility, you own this, then they need to have the expertise and the creativity along with that to say, you know what, you have, I look at your SOPs and you're doing it this way, but actually this way would be more efficient. This way would get better results, et cetera, et cetera. So they can't just be robots and doing the work. They've got to be creative and critical thinkers. Okay. Now, I'm going to throw you a bonus, and actually, this is more important than the others. Your team members, each of them, must have alignment with your values. Alignment with your values. When they do have alignment with your values, the commitment to your mission is almost a given. Okay, do you see how that works? All right, now, finally, what must you have for your team members from the first day they join you? Okay, first thing, to ensure a smooth onboarding experience and to foster their success, you must have clear communication. That means you've got to speak directly. You have to have a job description that lays out their duties and their tasks, and you've got to share with them what success looks like specifically. Okay, you are the owner of the company, so you set the pace. Okay, so clear communication is huge. Secondly, you have to have clear responsibility communicated. That means, look, they have duties and tasks, yes, but they need to know what part of your business growth they own and they are responsible for, right? Every team member is an expert, remember, they are a specialist, so they need to own a particular aspect of your business, whether that's a specific area of marketing or an element of sales or something in the back end and operations. They need to understand what they are responsible for. And then third, dovetails into that, there need to be clear expectations. What I mean by that are clear work outcomes or KPIs, key performance indicators. Like, here are your tasks and duties. Here are the SOPs that lay that out. But the reason we're doing all these things is to produce a certain outcome. And so you're going to manage them based upon those KPIs and if they have been met. And then another aspect, here's a bonus for you. You've got to have leadership. Leadership. Sounds obvious, but here's what I mean. When you transition from solopreneur to CEO with a team, you are the one who trains the new hires. You are the one who manages them. Okay. When you're further along, then somebody else can do that. But in the beginning, it is you. You cannot expect that someone coming in, even though they're an expert, will just plug in without direction, without some sort of training or management. Okay. You determine their responsibilities. You determine their overall tasks, at least at a high level. Okay. And you have to manage them. More oversight initially until you're assured that they understand, until you see that they're doing a good job. And so that means not just getting the job done, but that their work, again, is producing the results or the outcomes you determine. And then when they do that, then you are having to, when you do that, then you can have less and less oversight on your part. So, what do you think? How is your team? When I mention these things that your team needs and what you need, did you go check, 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 got it? Or are you like, ooh, I'm not sure? So listen, if you want my help to optimize your team, drop the word team below and I'll swing back around and reach out to you to help you do exactly that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.